Hello again. I just thought I'd update you with what's happening with the car. These bits were made just because there were a few holes still in the front. I ground them back, so got the rust out, and I just tack welded those back in. These I just put some strengthening bits in just to give them a bit more, hold them together a bit tighter. I managed to get the car on its side, so I put two tyres on the floor. Got the car, dropped it off the jacks, put it on the floor, and managed to roll it over. It's not actually that heavy. There's nothing in it, so it was quite interesting to see what was left underneath it, and what needed to be done. I think I've still got quite a bit of work to do. Once I got the car on its side, I got a piece of timber and wedged it under the car and against the wall, which is a bit of a pain because you have to duck down underneath it every time you want to go past. But it seems to be holding it up. That's a bit of timber there. But it is quite high now. To do the welding on the sills, I might see if I can get some other support so I can drop it down a bit and work on it that way. But I can get to everything else with it on its side like that. I have actually got some underseal to spray the hole underneath with. I'll go as far as the engine bay, but it'll just protect it and seal everything. I'll make sure I've got all the rust out first and treat anything that's had any work done to it. Where it is now, it's a lot easier to get to the underside of the chassis legs because it was quite tricky. It was all a bit squashed before. But now I've got a lot more space. Now it's on its side, I've got much more space in the garage. So I can move around a bit freer. I'm not wedged against everything all the time. So it's just more fiddling about, getting all the rust out. I want to make sure it's all gone. I pulled out all the fuel pipe filler. That's where it came from. And it's got like a breather bottle. And it was remarkably clean up there as well. I'm not planning on putting the standard fuel tank back in. I think I'm going to put a tank in the boot like the Escorts have, with a half moon cut out for the spare wheel, or put a tank in the spare wheel well once it's been repaired. I'll have to measure it up and see how much fuel I can get in a tank that would fit in the spare wheel well. These are the bits that were done not long ago, and they've just got flash rusting on them already, so I have to clean all those up again. And I'll put some treatment on them as well, and then put some primer over them. They need a bit of grinding back, and some of the steel's been left too long. That needs welding at the bottom. I couldn't get to it when it was up where it was before. Now it's like this, it's a lot easier to get to. So yeah, just basically wire wheel, anything like that that's got any brow on it. Obviously this has gone too far. I'll have to do this in sections. It's some tricky shapes in this as well. So I'll have to redo, there's 2 layers there, 3 layers altogether. So I'll just take it one layer at a time. All these bits were done when the car was on axle stands. I got underneath it and just gave it a start of cleaning it up. The wheel well, that needs a bit of work. I'll have to go right through it, clean it all up, see how bad it is. The rear valance is gone. It's pretty bad. I'm going to cut that out. The bumper, which is that bumper, covers all that anyway, so nothing will be seen. So I can cut that out, clean up anything left, and then underseal it and then put the bumper over it. This rear quarter needs to be done. That's the inside of the boot, further to the left. I did the other side, and it was a lot of work. That was one of the bigger jobs doing that. So it doesn't look too bad at the moment, but once you get the wire wheel on it, it's probably going to make a bit of a mess. Same as the arch. I don't need the arch. I've got arches on the rear quarters that are going on, the fiberglass ones, which will be bonded to the steel. So I'll finish all this off, I'll close it all up, join it all together. That has got structural integrity, so that needs to be put back together again. That's the bushing, the pin that goes through the bushing. So it's just stuck on there. I need to free it off somehow. I think I'll spray it with penetrating oil and then get some grips on it or something. And I think there's a bolt that goes from the inside through it, unless it's different on the older models, but that was how my other one worked, which was an older model as well. So, but yeah, most of the stuff, I mean, there was just brown bits underneath, so once you get the wire wheel on it, it just cleans it all up and makes it look nice and tidy. It's not worth putting the primer over the whole of the bottom. It's only the bits where I've done some work, so it will all be getting sprayed with the underseal. Yeah, and now it's just going to be like a day here and a day there. I think there'll be a couple of days at the back, but I think the sills will be half a day probably. Won't take long to cut the rear valance off. I don't want to put the front on yet because it's just going to get in the way. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked and subscribed, that would really help me out. It does make a big difference. Thank you very much.